Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we're going to do another manga review. Today's manga review is going to be over One Piece, Omnibus 2, volumes 4, 5, and 6, as you guys can see right there. And before we start, please go check out my previous video. I'll leave it up in the card and in the description. I would really appreciate if you guys go check out that one and then come back and watch this one. So, One Piece is written by Eiichiro Oda. It's a Shonen Jump title released by Viz Media. Its genres are shonen, adventure, fantasy. Genres are adventure and fantasy, and its demographic is shonen. It does have an anime adaptation, so if you want to watch that instead, you can. And the premise here is we follow the journey of this kid as he collects a crew and then turns into the Pirate King, more or less. This specific volume actually focuses on the ending of the Syrup Town arc, which is up to this point. There's this guy that masqueraded as a butler. Now, it turns out he's a pirate, and he's going to ransack this village in order to get a bunch of money. So that's kind of what happened. And now they are charged with stopping him because they're good people. And then we begin the Barate arc, which brings in the possibility for a new crewmate. We get the introduction of a seagoing restaurant, which is really cool. And we bring in a few different characters and do a lot of foreshadowing for the future adventure of One Piece. And this arc kind of features a turning point for me. One where I'm like, okay, I'm really into One Piece now. I'll definitely keep reading and continue forward with it, because I wasn't really convinced in the first volume. I really enjoyed it, or in the first omnibus, I really enjoyed it, but it didn't feel special to me yet. Not in the same way that I find Naruto special. Although Naruto is more of a nostalgia thing than a real, like, amazing storytelling type of thing. So yeah, anyway, up into the evaluation now. So first of all, the plot line here, pretty good. Like I said, it finishes off the Syrup arc, starts the Barate arc, and we follow the crew as they save Usopp's village. We find out a lot about Usopp personally, which I thought was really great. It really helps me get over some of the issues I had with Usopp in the first volume, which is really good because he's a lot of people's favorite character. So I'm excited to understand why that is, and I couldn't get it at the beginning. So then we move on past the Syrup village. They end up running across these guys, Johnny and Yosaku, who were friends of Zoro's. They mention that there's this guy that goes to this seafaring restaurant, and Zoro reacts really suddenly to it, and we kind of find out that it's somewhat important to him and his goal to be the greatest swordsman ever, which was really awesome. The whole thing that they had going on was really cool. But before we get there, they meet Sanji, who is a cook on this seagoing restaurant. And Luffy tries to recruit him, but Sanji is too cool for that. He's not interested because he wants to stay on the boat, on the restaurant, and become the head chef, I think. And then, Luffy gets into trouble. They kind of have to sort of fix it. And then they get pulled into a battle with a new pirate. This guy is basically this week's Pirate of the Week. But he actually helps bring in a lot of, not world building, but like foreshadowing for the future, which I thought was really great. And then we get Mihawk, which is the guy that Zoro was interested in. And we have a big battle, which I was really amazed by because it was super emotional. I almost teared up reading it. I was like, damn, Zoro is probably the best character so far. And the emotional situation that occurred between Zoro and Mihawk was really good in my opinion. And anyway, now the characters, probably still the best part about One Piece. I really like it. I really enjoy how they kind of play off each other. Usopp is my least favorite character, but this volume, or this omnibus, really helped Usopp become just a character instead of someone that I found annoying on principle, which I'm really happy about. I thought it was great. We don't really get anything new from Nami or Luffy, but Zoro was really the star of the show here. His battle with Mihawk, like I mentioned, was really emotional. It brings up a lot of his old backstory that we got in volume 2, I think, or volume 1. Can't remember. And it brings that together. It pushes this narrative of achieving your goals no matter what, which I think is really great and one of the best parts about Battle Shonen. And it kind of brings up the fact that giving up is worse than dying in terms of chasing your dreams. And if you ever want to achieve something, you have to give it your all, which it's a little extreme, but I really like how it works and the way that they portrayed it. So I thought it was really awesome. But it was a lot of good development for Zoro, and Luffy's relationship with Zoro was really built up in this point. So I thought it was really great. Besides that, we got Sanji, who's this like cool, suave, kind of simpy guy. And he's a chef, so automatically that makes me interested in his character because I like cooking and I enjoy seeing people that like to cook in media that I consume. So I thought it was really great. But there wasn't much about him specifically. The guy that was with him, Seth, is really cool as well. He's like this old pirate guy. I like him. His character's design, at least, is really cool. There's this big bad pirate guy, but I can't remember his name. But he's like the commander of 50 ships, or like the pirate armada or something. And then he goes to the Grand Line and gets destroyed by Mihawk, I think. But yeah, it was interesting. I'm not really sure I like this Pirate of the Week kind of thing that's going on. But it's not too bad yet. And honestly, it's going to be like that anyways. Like, that's kind of how it is in every other shonen. It's fair. I get it. It's an easy way to structure stories. And as long as it connects eventually into a larger thing, it's fine. It's just, since the arcs are so short, I feel like it's like way too consecutive, if that makes sense. But yeah, world building was fine. There wasn't anything really that special except for the foreshadowing for the Grand Line. And I still don't understand how that works. I guess like the world is like this, right? And then this way is the red line, the amount of light, like the giant strip of land where people live. And then the Grand Line is the equator, and across the equator, it's like horrifying, very harsh oceans and stuff. And we also learned that the East Blue is like the calmest ocean, or the calmest place, which cool, I guess. It's an interesting tidbit of information. And I'm excited to see where it goes, but there wasn't much world building yet. The art is really nice. It's not the best. It's a very specific style, and I do enjoy it, but it's not my favorite. But it really grew on me, and I really enjoy the pieces where Oda like actually adds I guess color or shading. I don't know how to describe it. Let me see if I can find an image. He does a lot of hatching, which I think is cool. But there's some times where he adds like shadows, and he really tries to make his art piece look like, really artistic. And I think that part is really nice, but I can't remember where I saw it specifically. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Oh, this is kind of what I'm talking about. The art quality here is very different from a regular panel or just random sketch, and it's really nice. I really like how this looks, so I really enjoyed that part. But yeah, and then fan service, there's none yet. Not really. I don't think there is going to be much, if at all. It doesn't seem that type of story. I know that characters have very like skimpy attire in later volumes in the future of the series, but if they're not really going out of their way to get put in gratuitous situations of fan service, it's not really worth mentioning. But there hasn't been anything like that yet. And yeah, so I rated this a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10. I definitely liked this volume more than the previous one, so maybe I'll go back and re-evaluate myself. But yeah, so I definitely recommend this to anyone that has enjoyed the first 3 volumes of One Piece. And the titles that I think are most similar are Fairy Tail, Seven Deadly Sins, and Magi. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of One Piece? how can I make my reviews better, and if you enjoyed, what did you enjoy about One Piece and my video. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.